Maria here. Today we are talking about all things vanilla. So I have at least 16 fragrances. They're all stellar. I don't enjoy every one of them, but they are all very popular, gorgeous, decadent, sexy, classy. I've got something for everybody. There is a vanilla for absolutely anyone. Even if you don't like vanilla, like me, it's not your favorite note, I've got a bunch for you. I don't like plain vanillas, but I've got those for you as well. And before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button, join the Weird and Wonderful family. And without further ado, let's get into a whole heap of vanilla. So for me, I find vanilla to be like really iffy, because if it's too just straight up vanilla for me, it makes me feel sick. It's just too sweet, too much, too thick somehow, and a lot of times I don't like it. So it needs to be paired with other things for me to personally enjoy. So the first one that I want to share with you is called La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. Now, I love the original, I think it's actually called Trésor La Nuit. But anyway, La Nuit Trésor, it's definitely more of a strawberry chocolate sweet. There's incense in there. It's gorgeous. This is a pared back version that has a little bit of fruitiness in it, paired with a powdery vanilla. So this definitely is very vanillic, but it's a powdery vanilla, and somehow that works better for me. So this one has some red currant and pear. I can't distinguish any of that. It just smells like a sweet, fruity candy vanilla. It's got a ton of florals in here as well. Really, what you're getting is a powdery tonka vanilla fragrance. If you like kind of those powdery vanillas, this one's a really great one. This one sits a little closer to the skin, and this is uber kind of sensual, I would say. So there's a little bit of mystery to this one. Definitely an understated kind of sexy vanilla. This would be great for date nights, although really vanilla is good for date nights, period, right? Because guys just love vanilla. But anyway, this is a great one to check out if you're not really sold on vanillas and you like a little bit more fruitiness, but you have to be able to handle the powder. This next one isn't one of my favorites, but a lot of people mention it in the comments. Whenever I have a vanilla video or an affordable video, someone always mentions this fragrance. So I like keeping it more for reference than anything, although every once in a while I like to put it on, and that is Lalique La Parfum. This to me has that more straight up vanilla, but there's bay leaf in here. So it's a little bit aromatic. It's very classy, it's very sophisticated and very affordable, but you have to be able to handle that bay leaf note. So for me, it's a little bit, I can't quite do it. But lots of people absolutely swear by this vanilla. Really long lasting, and yeah, as far as an elegant, quality, classy vanilla, this one's great. The most popular vanilla with the largest like cult following would be Vanilla 28 by Kayali. Now, first of all, the juice in this, once it darkens, is the most gorgeous purple color you could ever imagine. Like, it's so pretty. Like, it's such an interesting color. So the color is gorgeous. The fragrance, it's a sweet candy-like vanilla. It's a little bit bright. It's almost got a cotton candy vibe. And for whatever reason, now that I've sprayed it, I'm majorly falling in love with it, but it's never been my favorite. I find it almost a little too sweet, but seriously, people eat this stuff up. It smells so good. The longevity on this one, I think, is more moderate. This is one that I haven't worn a whole lot just because it's a little too sweet. It's got brown sugar, there's amber, there's tonka in here. There's a hit of floral in there, makes it a little more palatable in my opinion, but the florals almost feel fruity in this. It's really sexy. There's enough of a twist in this one that I think it's a great vanilla. I just personally find it a little too sweet, and it just does something to my stomach. So I'm not into this one, but Tons of women love this one. Now, the one from Kayali that I absolutely am into is a Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli 64. Now, this is more of a boozy kind of creme brulee vanilla. There's patchouli in here, but the patchouli smells like you've taken patchouli and you've dipped it in sugar, and then you've dehydrated it, and then you go like this. And you smell the patchouli and the sugar together. That's kind of the patchouli in this. So it's definitely more palatable, but it just adds some substance. There's some oud in this one. So it's just a boozy, oudy, sweet, sexy, mouth-watering, addictive vanilla. So I love this one. The first time I smelled this, I got a little teary, and honestly, smelling it this time, there's something about this fragrance that instantly evokes this emotion in me that makes me just feel slightly overwhelmed with goodness. Like, to me, this is love in a bottle. Like, this is liquid love. Like, honestly, gorgeous fragrance, really sexy, alluring, warm, cozy, definitely edible for sure. Even though it's still sweet, somehow paired with the oud, for me, it's more manageable than the Vanilla 28. Oh, I love this fragrance. It's so good. Now, my friend Hessie not too long ago talked about Spiritus Double Vanille, and that is a beautiful, very gorgeous, very expensive fragrance from Guerlain. It's so gorgeous, so smoky, so boozy and delicious. But I have a dupe. I would have to smell the two side by side, but I've been actually happy with this dupe, and it is called Two Flavors 1317 by Perfume Parlor, and it is very, very affordable. Now, Two Flavors or Spiritus Double Vanille, it's got some incense in it. To me, it smells a little bit smoky. So it has this smoky quality, again, a little bit boozy, definitely warm and spicy. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. Now, this isn't my favorite vanilla. Somehow it's still a little too vanillic. So I prefer Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli over this one. But this one is really, really beautiful. So I'm going to I'll put the link to the Perfume Parlor one down below. I don't know if Dua has a Spiritus Double Vanille dupe. If they did, I'd probably check that one out, because I think that one would be stronger because they're extracts. This one is decent. To be honest, I can't remember what the longevity is. If you live in the UK or any place where this is readily available, they're like, I don't know, this was, I think, 15 bucks or something like that, or 15 euro, something. So not very expensive. It gets a little more pricey. Like, I think these are closer to 30 bucks. Plus you pay duty and all of that when you do the conversion and whatnot to Canada. US would be a little bit less. But you may want to consider trying this, because it's still like that deep, kind of smoky, substantial, sexy vanilla. Really good. Like, just smelling it on my sweater, it's so sexy. Like, I can imagine wearing a warm sweater, and then someone comes in and gets a sniff and then just keeps sniffing. That's what this will do for you for sure. Now, another vanilla that is a little hint of chocolate and a lot of hint of powder is Van Cleef & Arpels Orchidee Vanille. Now, this one, longevity, not so great. I find this one so cozy, and this vanilla doesn't make me feel sick. So there's some vanilla in this. I think there's probably cacao. It's very powdery, but it's just warm and kind of cozy. And I don't find this one too sweet, but the longevity is like literally quite crappy on this one. Like, not great longevity, not great sillage or projection, sits closer to the skin. So this is one that you get to enjoy, or someone that wants to snuggle up gets to enjoy. This one's great for that. I could be wrong, but I believe Donna Born in Roma by Valentino is oftentimes put in a vanilla category. To me, it's more floral, but there is a massive vanilla base to this one. This is one that I really struggle with. I've tried wearing it recently, and once it dried down, I actually didn't mind it too much. I really struggle with this fragrance for whatever reason. The florals just don't agree with me. And the weird thing about this one is it's got some black currant in there. which is one of my favorite fruit notes. This one has jasmine, which I really like. There's, I think, jasmine tea in this one. There's some vanilla in here, definitely a vanillic base. For me, this just somehow sits wrong, but lots of women absolutely love this. Definitely has that vanilla base, but it's got some florals and fruitiness that are kind of in there that kind of balance it out a bit. Weigh in. Do you guys like this? Do you even consider this a vanilla? Everybody that talks about it, when I've heard it talked about, I hear it referred to as a vanilla. So I'm mentioning it, but to me, it's actually way more floral. Like it reminds me of something like a flower bomb as far as the florals and the sweetness. And somehow it's just a bit too much for me. Now, this vanilla is honestly just absolutely stellar, and it is called B by Ellis Brooklyn. Oh my goodness. I think part of it is that I really like boozy vanillas. Well, that's not true either, because Double Vanille I really struggle with, but this one I love. There's a bit of powder in this one again. For whatever reason, the powder kind of helps me accept uber vanilla fragrances. This has bran in it. There's honey, there's cinnamon, there's vanilla, there's rum, there's cacao. So this is got the same sort of powdery quality to me that Orchidée Vanille has, but I like this better than Orchidée Vanille. This is more boozy. I like the bran note for whatever reason. It just works for me. This one is warm, it's cozy. It's sensual, and I just personally think it's amazing. Like this, to me, is fall in a bottle for sure. Another one that is okay, but just okay, it's probably the most boring vanilla out of my collection, is Skyler's Vanilla Sky. Now that I'm smelling it, I feel like a jerk. Actually, I find I really struggle to say negative things about the perfumes. It's almost like they become my friends. Like, I don't know, it's just this weird loyalty thing. This one, to me, on the skin, it doesn't last long. Maybe the bottle would do better because I've just got the rollerball. I need to switch this over to a sprayer and then give it more of a go. This one has lots of cool notes, like it's got cappuccino and caramel. There's cinnamon and cedar, like lots of really good notes. But this one smells a little bit more like your straight up vanilla. Like even though there's the coffee in there and stuff like that, a little bit more straight up vanilla, but this is more of a candied vanilla again. So I find this more palatable than some vanillas. Tell me what your thoughts are on this one, because lots of people talk about this one. I hear this one mentioned on Instagram all the time. For me, just okay. Actually, another major noteworthy vanilla that I don't have is Seven Virtues Vanilla Woods, I believe it's called. That one is a gorgeous vanilla as well. It's a woodier vanilla, and it gets tons and tons of hype and love as well. So that might be one that's cool to check out. The other thing I love about Seven Virtues is I believe they're a Canadian company, and they're really about ethics in fragrance, which I think is really cool. So check out that whole brand. Like Seven Virtues, really, really, like they're all about ethically sourced, responsible harvesting, all of that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate their philosophy as a brand, and it's woman owned. So definitely check them out. My favorite one is Blackberry and Lily, I think it's called, and I've been actually wanting to get that one for a long time, but Vanilla Woods is super popular. Now, the most amazing vanilla to me right now, like the one I am so freaking in love with, it defies description, is Burberry Goddess. Such a gorgeous vanilla. It's basically straight up vanilla, but it's got lavender in it as well. The lavender, it somehow smells like when I put it on the skin, I feel like it would be like a vanilla sponge cake with some sort of lavender icing, which doesn't even make sense, but it smells thick and substantial, but like I want to bite into it somehow. Really, really beautiful fragrance. I'm so impressed with it. It feels grounding. It feels cozy. It feels sophisticated. But the lavender isn't off-putting like in Libre for me. I really struggle with that lavender note. But in this one, it's just beautiful, like such a beautiful lavender, and it's under the surface. So it's not the first thing your nose experiences, or maybe it is, I don't know, but it's just, I just think this is gorgeous. So, so beautiful. Very, very cozy. I got a sample from Hesse, and as soon as this gargantuan sample is gone, I'm buying a bottle because it's amazing. One of my favorite vanillas of all time is Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. Dried fruits, booziness, sexiness, vanilla-ness. This is, it's vanilla, it's tobacco. It's a fruity tobacco, and I definitely get a lot of that tobacco. So for me, this is a more palatable vanilla because it's like candied tobacco with the vanilla. The vanilla would be underneath, but it's still very vanilla present. Love this fragrance, and it lasts a long time. So warm and cozy, sensual, sexy. This fragrance kind of makes me feel a little bit wistful somehow. So I just think about walking on these hills, and I've been on some sort of pilgrimage in my cape and my cape and leather boots and a walking stick and a hat and a scarf. And then I find this little pub somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and I break open the doors and the whole pub goes quiet, and someone like invites me over to the bar, and I sit down and I start smoking my pipe, and all the music starts, and it's just a happy party. Yeah, I don't know. This makes me want to take up pipe smoking. I probably won't, but you just never know with me. I have an amazing sample from my good friend Lori of Absolute Aphrodisiac by Initio. Oh my goodness. This is such a freaking delicious vanilla. This one has kind of a smokiness to it. It's thick, it's rich, it's a little bit animalic and powdery. Such a great, sexy, deep, seductive vanilla. It's not too sweet, even though it's like very vanilla forward. It's not too sweet. It's got that little bit of kind of smokiness to it, but it's not overpowering. Oh my goodness, this is such a sexy vanilla. There's also leather in here, and I definitely get the leather, but the leather, it smells like, it almost smells like tobacco again. So it smells like a leather that's soft and supple and has been worn in, and it's been worn by someone that smokes a pipe or something like that. So it's leathery, but it's mixed with kind of a smoky sweetness. So alluring and just absolutely intoxicating. This is gorgeous. Another absolutely stellar newer vanilla is Bianco Latte by Giordini di Toscana. This one is definitely a more milky somehow vanilla. Now, someone had said that it smells like Rice Krispie treats. I kind of get what they're saying. This one is probably the most scrumptious vanilla, and it's definitely, there's enough going on there that it doesn't smell like a boring vanilla, and it's not too cloying, yet it's so sweet. There's a little bit of a powdery quality, a little bit of muskiness, a little bit of kind of a caramel. It borders on feeling almost coffee feeling, but I get the cereal treat kind of feel to this as well. This is sexy. Like, this is so sexy, cozy, luscious, delicious. It's one of my favorites out of the whole entire works. Really, really enjoying this. Somehow I don't find it too overpowering or sickly. So love this one. I've got 3 more for you. This one is from Maison Margiela's replica line, and it is called By the Fireplace. This one is marshmallow. It has chestnuts in it. This one is so amazing because it's got this beautiful kind of woodiness to it, and it smells like there's roasting chestnuts. It smells like roasting chestnuts and marshmallows, actually. So I just imagine chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Like, I get that feel with the marshmallows, a little bit of burntness to it. a little bit woody with the Gaiac wood, and then this beautiful kind of vanilla. So vanilla marshmallow woodiness is what you get in this one. So this one I find very, very cozy. This one sits closer to the skin. So, you know, if you're sitting by the fire with your significant other, this one, like in this one kind of smells like you're roasting a marshmallow. So the wood, you're smelling the wood, you're smelling the marshmallow, you're smelling that vanilla deliciousness, nuttiness in here. It's a really great fragrance. Some people find this one off-putting because they associate it more with the home fragrance. I totally get where they're coming from. I'd say that this one is a little bit more masculine as well. But I really enjoy this one, especially for really cold days. Gorgeous. Next one is Pascal Morabito's Sultan Noir. This one is very affordable. This one has apple in it. It's got some incense. There's woodiness. It's very smoky feeling. A little bit cold, a little bit sweet with that apple, a little bit boozy. This one again is a little bit more masculine, and it's very similar to Red Tobacco by Mancera, or so I hear. Like I said, really affordable. This one lasts a long time on the skin. It has a little bit of a leathery feel to it as well. Nice amount of smoky booziness in this one. Gorgeous fragrance, especially if you want something that's affordable, but it is a little bit masculine. And the last one, and probably the most traditional vanilla that I have, is Oud Vanille. It's so crazy because I'm not a vanilla lover, but I've got an awful lot of them. So maybe I'm a closet vanilla lover. Now this one actually kind of reminds me of the Vanilla Sky by Skyler. Kind of same family, so a little bit lighter. It doesn't have any of the smokiness. This one is a very interesting vanilla because it has beeswax and coconut in it as well. There's also some almond and tonka. So it's very rich. You know, the almond works well with that coconut and the beeswax. There's some Gaiac wood and sandalwood. This one definitely the thickest, more straight up vanilla, but a little bit of a waxiness, a little bit cleaner smelling than something like this that's got the leather and the spiciness and the booziness. This one is more just straight, sweet, delicious vanilla with the beeswax and the coconut. Very, very nice fragrance, super long lasting. Gorgeous, but I don't reach for this one a lot because this one is a little bit sickly for me because it's so sweet, but I really like this one. So I'm looking forward to actually mixing this one with Spicy Delice by JUS Perfumes. I think that the spiciness and this together will be just gorgeous. So can't wait to give that a try. But this, if you love that straight up vanilla, Oud Vanille by Sultan is a very, very excellent choice. That was a lot of vanillas. Now I'm going to quickly share with you my favorite currently. So love Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli. As far as that spicy vanilla, this is the one I go for. Absolute aphrodisiac. It's just kind of sexy deliciousness, super intoxicating. I'm in love with it. Tobacco Vanille, my wistful UK trip in a bottle. Love it. B, it's cozy. I love the brown. I love the rum. Oh, love this fragrance. Bianco Latte. I'm really digging that kind of milky cereal treat vanilla. Love it. Like, so both of these have kind of a cereal feel in there, but it doesn't smell like straight up cereal. Somehow there's more going on there. So sophisticated, so different, and so yummy. And the last one is Burberry Goddess. This to me is grounding. It's sensual, but it's still somehow classy. I don't think vanilla is a very classy fragrance. Overall, I find it like a little bit sensual. I find it a little bit seductive, but I don't find it like classy. This is a classy vanilla in my opinion. So that is it. Those are my favorites. Those are a mixture of ones I'm not really crazy about and some that I think are awesome, but I don't necessarily reach for them very often. Anyway, more vanillas than I ever imagined I had around, but what about you? What are your top 5 vanillas? Please let us know what they are. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing week and we'll talk to you soon.